Hello, welcome to the month of Pisces. We are wrapping up our astrological cycle in the sign of Pisces. Pisces moved into its sun sign on February 18th, and it takes us all the way into March 19th. And once we get into March 19th, the 20th, until I think April 19th or 20th, we move into the sign of Aries. So this is going to be our last sign of the wheel, of the astrological wheel, and also wrapping up our season of winter. So I'm here to discuss the characteristics of Pisces in relation to its planetary influence, and also the tarot cards associated with Pisces, specifically the major arcana. And I'll make mention of the minor arcana cards as well for the decans that represent Pisces. Okay, so and I'll also talk a little bit about the 12th house, which is ruled by the sign of Pisces. I'm going to emphasize that a little bit more in this discussion because I feel it's very important, the relationship that the 12th house has with the sign of Pisces. So Pisces is a water sign. It is mutable. So when we think of Pisces, we see those fish. We see two fishes, but their symbol of a line through them shows the opposing energies of these two fishes that are going in opposite directions. But that line still links them together. There's that interconnection, even though they're trying to move apart, they are still linked together. And that link comes with the relationship of the conscious and the subconscious realm, the external and the internal. Pisces is a sign that deals in the realm of fantasy and imagination. Their ideas are held in their heart. And I've mentioned this a few times about Pisces. When you look at a strong Piscean individual who is creative, their art is very emotionally filled. It's very dreamy. I almost want to say it's very watery. It has that influence of the subconscious, of the unknown. But Pisces knows how to tap into that energy, into that realm, and they know how to portray it creatively, but also how they work with their own feelings. Pisces, I feel that this just came to me. Pisces would make a very good psychologist because that's where a lot of the work deals with when you're working with people. You're trying to get to the deepest hidden realms of someone's issues or what's going on with them. But one of the opposing traits of Pisces is that addiction, feeling very much comfortable in that realm that feeds their soul, that feeds their emotions, and doesn't really allow them to explore outward. Pisces is very introvert. So once they find that comfort level, whatever that vice is, they embrace it and they hold on to it. And they don't want to let go of it because it feels good. There's nothing wrong with that, but as long as you are healing, as long as you're knowing what you're holding on to is going to be of betterment for you. But sometimes because of Pisces being in that darker realm, that comfort level, and just kind of moving with how things are feeling at that time, it's very hard for the sign to move out of that that emotional way of connecting to things. They need to get in touch. They have to go outside and explore what's out there as well. So with that being said, some of the keywords associated with Pisces is compassion. You may think of some Pisces that aren't compassion, but when you hear them talk about something that they feel very strongly about, it's coming emotionally very, very much from them, because they feel it that deep down that they want to talk about that. They're very intuitive. I've mentioned this before in previous profiles when talking about water signs like Scorpio. I feel Pisces is one of the most intuitive signs out of all the water signs. We have Cancer and Scorpio. Cancer, intuitiveness, form different actions. Okay. Cancer's intuitive nature comes from loyalty, emotional loyalty. And so I feel that Cancer's, their intuitiveness is when they know how someone feels about them, and whether those feelings that they're feeling is something that's going to be of empowerment for them, that's going to put them in a good place, or it could put them in a bad place. That's why I feel with Cancer for intuitiveness. Scorpio, their intuitiveness is something that it literally rings. It's like it hones out to them. It's like, you know what? There's something not right. And when something doesn't feel right with Scorpio, they want to find out what that is. So they'll go through different ways of trying to figure out what is this hone, what is this bell, what is this feeling that I'm getting? I got to get down to it. And they will go to whatever lengths it is to find out what it is. But Pisces intuitiveness comes from a spiritual sense, not that Cancer and Scorpio's intuitive feelings don't come with those intentions, but with Pisces, it's different. It's something that they only see that a lot of us don't see, us being other signs. And so there's that intimacy, that really deep connection that they really can't explain to people why they feel the way they feel, why they do things the way they do, because only they understand it. Only Pisces understands that. So I also feel Pisces is the most mysterious of all the water signs, or probably of all the signs, because of that, because it's really hard to understand something that they only understand that's going on within themselves. The other signs, like water signs, fire and earth, I think we sort of see it through various actions. Air signs, they do it by the way that they communicate with people, how they interact with individuals. Earth signs, they do it by the work, but they put their time into their energy. That's how we see that. Fire, we just see by their actions, how they're moving, what's developing, how things are forming for them. So different perspectives, different actions that are taken when it comes to revealing aspects of that sign. But Pisces, definitely the most mysterious, I feel. So with that being said, we have the major arcana card of influence for Pisces. Okay. And understandably, and this is also, the moon is a sign that's ruled by Cancer, astrologically. But the moon, tarot-wise, archetype is ruled by Pisces. This is the pagan otherworlds tarot. And so the moon, we're seeing the different faces, the different sides of the subconscious, and any conflict that may be stirring in. Remember what I was saying? Pisces only knows themselves. We all know ourselves in our own ways, but Pisces, when it comes to really deep stuff that could be of pain, or of understanding. Remember, they love the realm of the imaginative and the creative. So once they get placed in that environment, they can just sort of stay there, and they only understand that. So they move with Pisces being that water sign. They move with the emotional influence and the feminine energy of the moon, which is water, inspired, emotional, intuitive. But Pisces keeps their emotions quiet. Okay. And I know the lighting here isn't that good, but with these two cards dealing with primal instinct, it's interesting because we have here one of the wolves that's quiet and the other one that's releasing. And then, of course, here with the moon. Okay, we see the quiet aspect of it, but we also see the sun. Okay, the moon's the reflection of the sun. And depending on what sign that it's in, we start seeing that sign's characteristics being influenced by the energy of the moon. So we're seeing this duality that's going on with Pisces, the two fish, remember? Going in opposite directions. Here's the glyph for it, okay? And also, it could be cyclical. Also, because of it being water, water's free flowing, this energy could just sort of be aimlessly moving around just to get to some place. And sometimes that's what it takes of Pisces. They do have to kind of, be free, hence the mutability of the sign, freedom just to explore, to figure things out at that level, and using their subconscious self when it comes to understanding situations, to guide them with the influence of the moon. Okay. So with Pisces, there's a bit of a secretiveness to it, to their sign, that mysterious, that unknown. You can almost, in a sense, feel, if you're that connected, the characteristics of the astrological signs, but you can almost feel like something's going on with Pisces, but we just don't know what it is. I know. I want to move to the planets. Okay, so the planetary influences that we have is assigned with Pisces is Neptune and Jupiter. Okay, so Neptune is a water influenced planet, and Jupiter is a fire influenced planet. So the fire influence for Pisces with this Jupiter influence is the movement. But it's also of luck. It's of abundance. Fishes are seen in various cultures to be of luck and abundance. Okay, so the environment that Pisces is in the water. very expansive energy. Even though Jupiter is fire, it's the environment that it's the environment that Pisces is in. It's that space, that watery space, that emotional space. But Neptune, I want to speak a little bit more about Neptune because I feel Neptune holds a little bit more power in association to Pisces. Okay, so this is a card for Neptune. So our keywords here are dream and transcend. Okay, and I want to throw in mystery, the unknown, the spiritual arts. And there's quite a few Pisces, whether their moon's in Pisces, their sun's in Pisces, or their rising is Pisces. There is a strong affinity to various kinds of spiritual practices because it's dealing with that understanding of what is not seen, what is hidden. That's what Neptune is about. It's about allowing that time to be imaginative. I'm not saying it's not right to be not to have an imagination. I think that's healthy to be creative and think outside of or feel outside of the box with things. Okay. But Neptune is this very strong planetary influence because of the water association that I feel really characterizes Pisces in such a great way. And Neptune is that positive aspect of Pisces where they can explore and learn more about themselves because they are placed in that environment where they can grow. There's that watery space. There's people who they love to go into the ocean because it's so vast. It's also very powerful, but they can also lose themselves. The same with the expansiveness of the desert, all that space. Same with the expansiveness of the mountains, the forests, all of those trees. Okay. It's a place to lose ourselves, but also we find ourselves at the same time, the more that we spend time in these environments. But as long as you're doing the kind of work to move forward, to grow, to learn from. Okay. And that's a wonderful trait with Pisces. Once they have that discovery of what they're looking for, it opens them up. And then what happens is that energy, that positive feeling that they're of an awakening, they start moving up. Okay, they start moving upward and they start going outward. And we start seeing that enjoyment, that happiness. Jupiter is also optimism, positive energy. We start seeing that. We start seeing Pisces, all that energy that they've been working with and it being transformed, coming out in a positive manner. That's the transcession, the transcending of that sign of Pisces. Once it spends its time in the waters, healing and searching. But they need that time. Water is very soothing. It's also very destructive. It's knowing how much time. It's not how to use the water. The water is there. But how much time you're going to spend in it. And what your focus is on to deal with any issue or to grow, to transform. All right, the other card I want to show you here too is We've got the moon associated with Pisces. Okay, so that energy of opposing forces. We all have these two primal instincts in us, the one that's quiet and the one that just wants to let out. Okay, so the moon, that's associated with Pisces. The next card I have here is the Hangman. This archetype is associated with Neptune. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over like this. So remember what I was discussing about Pisces. Pisces is below. What we don't see, what is hidden. This Hangman, this has been discussed a few times. It's reversed, it's being flipped around in its own environment. And the way I describe the Hangman is an individual who's been so much on the external side of things, but really hasn't connected and explored the inside, the unknown part of them. And sometimes that's what's needed. You feel like you're just going through the regular rigmarole of life, and something needs to change. And the only way you could do that is you need to flip things around. Okay? So again, with the Neptunian influence, we're flipping this energy around. We're taking our conscious, the head, what we are always connected to, flipping it around so that our feet, okay, the feet where we stand, where we go for balance and foundation, we're flipping this outward. We're focusing more on bringing the conscious into the lower part of ourselves, the lower part being our inner selves. Okay. I remember when taking, I'm going to talk more about this card in a minute, but it just reminded me when taking a yoga class, and one of my yoga teachers has said to me, if you're feeling like things are just a bit too much, one thing that calms the energy down is you flip around. And so we would do handstands. And for anyone who has a yoga practice, or for anyone who's done handstands for various reasons, but like has held a handstand for a while, how do you feel after you do a handstand? You have that moment of changing things around. The perspective, the energy, the blood is now moving from the feet to the head. You can sometimes hear that when you're reversed. It sounds like a rush of sound going to the head. That's the blood rushing to the head. And you hold it and you breathe. You take that moment to pause. And that's what the Hangman is. That's how that energy of Pisces comes into play. You're taking that moment of stillness in your environment, okay, to see what's really going on in here, okay. Pisces takes it more active because of that Jupiter influence of movement and growth. But this Hangman card allows Pisces to just take that moment and just look, listen, and feel what's going on in a different perspective, flipping things around, see things from the outside in. I think that's something that we all need to do. And And with this month for Pisces, I think it's a wonderful way to end this astrological wheel. Let's end it on a slow note, on a calmer note, on a more spiritual connective note before we go into Aries. Fiery. Aries rules the head. Pisces rules the feet. Okay. The lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is of release, cleansing, any toxins. And the lymphatic system is all watery. So and also the feet. The feet is also, we have pores on our feet and our hands. Those are forms that we release energy. And if we don't manage that, toxins can get held in, and it could cause problems to the lymphatic system, to the way that we connect and see and move through things. But I mentioned earlier when I started, I want to talk about the 12th house, which is ruled by Pisces. I know, sweetheart. Here we are. And I like here how we have this cage that's opened. And we have and it looks like a fish that could have been in this cage, and it's moving away out. The feather, the shell, connected to water. But the environment here is very calm. The 12th house deals and focuses primarily on karma, secrets, things that are hidden, the unknown. But it's also a time to heal. And like I said, this is a wonderful way to end this astrological year, or astrological wheel. We need to have things go full circle. And we can reflect on how things have been the previous 11 months, where we've came from, gone to, where we are now, in 2021 to 2022. This is a challenging card, depending on what sign and planet your house is in. And I don't talk too much about all the signs and planets in my chart, but I actually don't have a planet that rules this particular house in my chart. I believe it's actually an asteroid or star, because I think it's an asteroid that rules my 12th house in this particular sign. And so I use that influence for a way of healing myself, but using the 12th house as healing through spiritual practices, growth. Using those forms of influences to come to terms with things that are hidden within yourself. Pisces in the 12th house is that moment that you reach something that was hidden. And it can be painful. But you have to work through it. Okay, I took a moment there just to kind of look away and think about this, because I know there's some stuff that's moving around inside of me. And when things move around, it could be for the better. But keep in mind, when you're moving things around emotionally in that deeper realm, there's still stuff that's underneath. And as all that movement is going on, it starts shaking up a little bit of the stuff that's going on. And it brings that up a little bit to the surface. And you start feeling like, oh, there's something else going on while I have all this energy that I feel like I'm moving forward to. There's something else that's coming up as well. And that's the release aspect. The energy force of that Jupiter, it's releasing, it's creating movement so that things can open up. When those things start coming up, that's when realization comes in and you have to start healing. I'm talking a little bit more to everyone in general, but also to myself. And so when I work with these signs each astrological month, I take in that energy. And I think that's really important when it comes to understanding who you are and working with the tarot. Let's take this time to flip things around. Okay. The other card that is associated with Jupiter is the Wheel of Fortune. But I don't associate that card with Pisces, just me personally. I associate it, I associate more the Neptune and the Hangman influence with Pisces, just because of the reversal of energy. Instead of the head being placed up here, conscious reality and whatnot. But look at this here. Look at the person's head. It's like the person's almost releasing themselves entirely in that realm. It's like, okay, this is where we are right now. So that's just a little bit of background when it comes to Pisces. And even though I just have one placement in my chart with Pisces, when the sun sign comes into Pisces, I start paying attention, start getting awakened about the specialty and the uniqueness of the sign, how it shapes you, how you can move with those energies in a positive or negative way. But to go full circle, Pisces is going to that deepest part of who you are. It's frightening for a lot of people. And Pisces is that sign that can actually work through those forces in a way that they don't have that fear. Because they know that's part of who they are. They know themselves that well. So that 12th house, if you have Pisces or maybe any of the other water signs, again, depending on the planetary rulership of that particular planet or asteroid or star in that sign, in that water sign, dictates how you work with that energy in that 12th house, how you deal with the karma, secrets, things of the unknown. it's very humbling to experience Piscean energy, especially when you're not a Pisces. But you know that there is stuff that is moving about and it's starting to come up. So, Sun moves into Pisces February 18th at 8:42 a.m. It's 11:42 on the East Coast. So if you want to start bringing in that energy of Pisces, that's the time to do it from the East Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast. I want to briefly make mention of the Decans. Okay, so the Decan for the month of Pisces. Okay, the Decans are 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. 0 to 10 represents the first 8 to 10 days of that astrological sign. So we're in Pisces, so the first 8 to 10 days of that Decan, first Decan in Pisces, the minor arcana cards that influence that first Decan are, I'm going to show you this very quickly because I already have this set up. This is the Gil Tarot. It's the 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and 10 of Cups. Okay. Actually, these represent the entire month of Pisces. The 8 of Cups represents the first Decan. 9 of Cups represents the second Decan. The second Decan is, I have to look because I want to make sure I don't get these confused. First Decan, 8 of Cups. Okay. Approximately February 20th to the 28th to the 29th. So that's about 10 days. Our 9 of Cups, March 1st to the 10th. That's our second Decan. Then our third Decan, which takes us during the last 10 days, 8 to 10 days, is, you can start seeing the order, is the 10 of Cups. Okay, so this is from the Gil Tarot. And you could take the energies of that card for each Decan week. I'll say it like that. For each Decan week. Like, for instance, we go into the first week of Pisces, the first Decan. 8 of Cups. Okay, how do we work with this energy of the 8 of Cups? Okay, that's something to consider. I don't want to talk any further about that because I have lots of videos about the Decans in my playlist. But look at your tarot deck or decks and pull out that 8 of Cups and look at it. Actually pull out the 8 of Cups from different decks and see how they are representative of you. Because the 8 of Cups has various meanings. It can mean an overflowing, an abundance of joy. How do we work with that energy? Are we maybe putting too much of that energy out? Are we not seeing the potential of something that's there? You would think it's kind of hard to miss 8 of Cups energy, but there could be opportunities that are there and we don't see it. Okay. But also, too, we can also see because of the movement. Okay, again, each of these 8 of Cups depictions in various decks can read differently. But we can also see maybe, like I said, it's an overflow. It could be an overabundance. It could create some emotional, overwhelming. So that's one thing to take a look at. So that's during that first decan of Pisces. So it's the 8 of Cups for that first week, 9 of Cups, and then 10 of Cups. So can you guess what's going to happen for the decans in Aries? What are those next cards that are going to come up for the month of Aries? Okay, some homework, something to think about for next month. Okay, so to wrap up, Pisces, okay, the unknown, mystery, subconscious. That's when I hear Pisces, or I think of Pisces, I just think of subconscious, imagination, creativity, sensitivity, highly, highly intuitive. The association is with the moon. Okay, so we have the duality of light and dark, but this is what we're working with inside ourselves. And the way to deal with that energy, this is ruled by Neptune, the Hangman. Let's change our perspective. Let's explore those inner sides of ourselves that we don't know about. Maybe we're scared to go to it. And then our planetary influences, again, emphasizing more of Neptune. By being in that darker realm, using spiritual influences to help us, guide us through that, will help us move forward, move ahead. And Jupiter is this force. Jupiter is the other planet, fiery planet, Neptune's water, that allows that realm of being in that watery influence, that space, to move, to explore. Similar to Sagittarius. Sagittarius likes vast space. They like to explore. They like to see beyond the horizon. Okay, and then Pisces, again, we have those opposing energies, like here of the Moon card. How to deal with those different forces in different situations. And then our 12th house. One of the most challenging houses, I feel, because it's the 12th house is calling yourself out. Really seeing these things that we don't normally see. And by facing this, we get this freedom by emotionally being open and being honest. The 12th house involves a lot of honesty with yourself and being real and taking chances, letting go, sacrificing, and seeing what's going to happen. Okay, so happy birthday to all Pisces there. Next up, I'll have the readings coming up in the next few days. And I'm going to start with the water signs since we are in the month of Pisces. So I'll be doing readings for the water signs of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And any questions, of course, that you have, feel free to place them down below. Subscribe, like, let people know about this channel if you feel that this is information that they can learn from. I have a website, all that information, everything you need to know about me outside of this is in the description. So feel free to ask away. I do readings, and I enjoy my practice so much, and I'm here to be of guidance to you if you feel needed. So have a wonderful day, evening, morning. This is Amy of the Mystic Rose Tarot. I will catch you very soon for those readings for the water signs for the month of Pisces. Okay, I will talk to you soon.